Here we're being given an original function, f of x equals e to the 3x, and they want us to find the derivative of that equation. So the first thing we do is just kind of take a look at this original function and see what's going on here. So the first thing you're going to notice, I'm sure, as soon as you see this is that you've got the derivative of e happening. And so the derivative of e is what I refer to as a special case derivative. Special case derivatives to me are derivatives you just have to have memorized. If you've got it memorized, great. If you don't, you're probably never going to guess it. So if my original function was e to the x, the derivative of e to the x would stay e to the x. The thing about all these special cases, though, that you have to keep track of is as soon as what you start with inside that basic function right there, as soon as that is anything more than just an x, so negative x, more than just a basic x, all problems like that, they're going to become a chain rule problem. So, 9 times out of 10, when you're taking the derivative of one of those special cases, one of those e to the x or the natural log of x, something like that, they replace that basic x. And so what you're usually looking at is what is called a chain rule problem. So a chain rule problem is what we have here because we definitely have something more than just a basic x going on inside our e right now. So that means our primary rule we need to be running through is the chain rule. My chain rule is saying my chain rule recipe I use goes d in times d out. The derivative of whatever's inside that function. So whatever replaced that basic x up in the top of your equation here, that's your inside piece. So the first thing we need to do is figure out what the derivative of that is. And so I just kind of pull that down below here and I say, okay, what's the derivative of 3 over x? Well, 3 over x is going to require us first and foremost to do a rewrite. Anytime you've got a number over x, that's one of the classic rewrites you always have to be on the lookout for. You always need to rewrite that x by bringing it from the bottom to the top and making that power negative. So if you had something like 5 over x to the third, you would want to rewrite that as 5x to the negative 3. Here, our unwritten 1 is what our power is. And so the rewrite on this is going to be 3 times x to the negative 1 now. So that was just a rewrite to get from there to there. And now we're going to go find that actual derivative of the inside. So doing that, this is just going to require us to use our power rule. The power rule says bring the power down and then subtract 1 from the power. So I bring the power down. 3 times negative 1 gets me negative 3x. Subtract 1 from the power and I end up with negative 2. So there's my d in, and now I can start constructing my derivative function up here. So f prime of x is going to equal the derivative of the inside, which is negative 3 times x to the negative 2. Then we need to multiply that by the derivative of the outside portion. So the outside piece here, that is your e function. That is the piece that follows your special case. So the derivative of e to the x just stays e to the 3x. And so that's our d out. And then the piece up front here was our d in. You can stop there always on problems like this, and you just want to go up and check and see if your answer is sitting up there. And what you can see is that your answer isn't quite there. Always be careful on answers like this, right? Notice that that's a positive 2. You've got a negative 2 on your exponent. So one of the things they will have you do on these problems is basically undo this rewrite here. So if you've got negative exponents in your problem, you want to undo that rewrite. You want to put them back down to the bottom. So we've got a negative exponent on our x right there. And so we just want to rewrite this by putting that x back down to the bottom of the fraction and turning that power negative. And once we do that, now we can go find this answer up above. That's going to be this answer here. So at the end of the problems, always stop and check on that first derivative move right there just to see. Sometimes, it varies what they're looking for. So just make sure you look for that to begin with, but know how to undo that rewrite because that's also a very likely way they will present the answer. Thanks for watching my video. If you liked it, please click that like button and subscribe. And also share it with your friends and anyone else you know who might be crying about an upcoming AP Calc test. You can find more videos from me, more sample AP Calc questions, and my complete AP Calc study guide over at my website, apcalcprep.com. Have a great one.